everyone. So let me just grab the chat and let's see if I can get to it quicker. So I decided this is a page I've been working on in the book Vilin by Tomislav Tomic, and I figure, good morning, Melissa. So good to see you. So I've been working on this page for a little while, and I just wanted to have a little quick, it probably won't be like an hour or anything, but I wanted to have like just a little quick, ooh, there we go, I found the chat, that's good, sorry about that. Okay, so I've been using some different materials than I usually do. So I've been using these Staedtler Tri-Plus fine liners. These I have a pack of 24 of them, so I've been using those. I also have a bunch of, sorry, I'm just getting everything out. I also have a bunch of these Tombow Brush Markers, and they are a lot of fun. So I have, I started out with just the portrait palette, and they're like a bunch of browns, these beautiful browns, and this pink here and a yellow. But then I added to it with the landscape set and the grayscale set, so now I have quite a lot of these markers. So I've been mostly using the Tombows on this page. I'm just going to move them out of the way so I can actually see what I'm doing. So I just thought, you know, we could have a little color and chat and hang out together. Oh, okay. So why do they intimidate you, Melissa? Melissa said that the Tombows are intimidating, and I'm curious why you think that. But I'm going to show you how I use them, and that way hopefully we are going to have some fun. But yeah, maybe I can address what's intimidating you about them and show you maybe how I'm working here. So I'm not that familiar with these colors. Let me grab a scrap paper. Until I learn my colors, I always need a scrap piece to just kind of remind me what I'm doing. Yeah, that's the right color. So yeah, let's see, pencil person. Oh, okay. So Melissa says, I'm a pencil person, so it's a combo of lack of knowledge, but mostly I use pencils, mostly because I use pencils. The blending and layering is my hang-up. Well, hello, Marina. So good to see you. I didn't even know you were on YouTube. Okay, well, I can kind of address that. I actually was not a marker person until recently myself. So I think that I totally get your feelings of intimidation, because markers, they give you the feeling that if you mess up, you can't recover from it. Probably because when you put it down, it's not like pencil where you can erase it. It's, you know, when it's down, it's down. And so I do get that. I tried markers when I was a little kid, and I didn't really like them. I messed up a lot, and I was using my eraser a lot for graphite work, graphite pencil work, and so you know, I get why they're intimidating. I've had the same feelings for a long time, but what I've come to learn is that as soon as you start to, when you're doing your art, as soon as you stop using your eraser with pencil, as soon as you just learn to accept mistakes and adapt to it and move and kind of like become one with them, if that makes sense. Like if you own them and say, you know what, that's okay, like it doesn't matter, I'm still having fun, then all of a sudden markers become a lot of fun. And it's funny because on my own personal artwork where I was heavily invested, I spent a lot longer on my, I still spend a lot longer on my original work than I do my coloring book work. You know, that it's funny because when I started coloring, I was like, well, I I don't really have to worry about messing up because I can't sell it. I can't, you know, I can only share it and have fun. So it really was very liberating for me, changing my mindset. And I think that's really what it is. It's like a mindset thing. As soon as you like let go and admit that you're a human being and you make mistakes and that's okay, then all of a sudden markers become a lot of fun, because if you make a mistake, you're like, oh, that's a new challenge. How can I work around that? So markers have taught me a lot about accepting the fact that I'm human and allowing myself to make mistakes. And then it's fun because then you put yourself in a creative challenge too. How can I adapt to this? How can I make it work anyway? And I actually made several mistakes in a different marker drawing. If you guys follow me on Instagram, the bunny page from Kirby Roseanne's Imagimorphia, I made a lot of mistakes on that page, but I recovered from it, and I learned a lot about how I work, actually. So I think, you know, if markers intimidate you, you know, you don't force yourself to use something you don't like, but if you do want to try and give them a go, I think just the attitude of like letting go of perfection and allowing yourself to just enjoy and have fun and be human and not worry about it so much. I think that is really the key there to having fun with markers. And it's very funny how like a different medium can change your whole perspective. I think that's why I like changing mediums so much, is because it really does force you to sort of adapt to different scenarios much better. So, but as you can see, I layer. So, oh, I'm sorry, I'm ignoring the chat. So Marina says, I love the FC Pit brushes. They are the only real quality markers I have. I have not tried those markers, but I have been eyeing them. I'm very curious about them. And then Melissa said, do you start with light colors and go to the dark, or the light to dark, or dark to light matter? Well, I'm not that experienced with them. I've only done a couple of pages in markers, so I really can't, like sometimes I'll do the dark areas first, and sometimes, like I don't really have a working method at the moment, but when I'm not sure exactly how it's going to turn out, I do tend to work like I do with watercolor, since they're transparent, so I'll work from light to dark. So I'll start out with the lightest color, put it down, see how that looks, and so forth. So you can see I already have layered several layers of color over it. Oh, hello, Susanna. Welcome. And let's see. Marina says they are lovely. I'll have to, when I go to the art store, I'll have to pick up some. Is there specific colors that you really like, Marina? I could test out a couple with like with a couple colors. That's what I've been tending to do. Because I bought some supplies that I didn't like, and I was kind of bummed that I bought a set of it, so I'm like, oh, maybe I should just go for the open stock and try stuff out first, because now I feel bad. I might like try and do that in a giveaway or something, I don't know. But it's used, so I feel weird about that. But maybe I'll donate them to a charity. Anyway, getting off track. In my mind, that means it doesn't matter like it does with watercolor. Yeah, you know, Melissa, when I get more experience with marker, I'll let you know what my, like, how I figure out, how I work. But like with the bunny page, I did a lot of dark areas to kind of knock it out, and like, here, I'll show you guys that bunny page in case you aren't on my Instagram too. So it fell out of the book. Let me take this out of the... So it fell out of the book, like my book fell apart. So I just taped the back of it. So like I just like with tape the back of it. This is from Imagimorphia by Kirby Roseanne's. And so what I did here is like I did a lot of the darks first, just to sort of get like an idea of how it would work, and then I layered a lot of light colors and sort of built up the layers over time. So I kind of like work with both at the same time. Let's see what's going on. Let's see. Marina says, love the coloration. The pits don't have a large range, but most of their colors match the Polychromos colors, so you can combine them. I did not know that. Oh. I mean, it makes sense. They're from the same brand, right? Let's see. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you guys like the bunny page. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that page, and I learned a lot in that page. So I made a lot of mistakes too, though. But basically what I did is I just, whenever I made a mistake, I just kind of went darker, and it covered it. Let's see what's happening here. Here, I can zoom in a little for you guys if you want. I think I missed a spot with this brown, so now I'm gonna have to figure out which brown that is. That's always fun. Let's see. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. What's funny about the Tombows is that the cap on the pens does not match the color at all. So you really have to, I'm really gonna have to learn them. I think this is the color. What's nice though is they do layer, like you can keep putting more and more color down and it just gets darker. So that's how I've actually done a lot of my shading. Yeah, that looks like it's so here we go. I'll do this little weird, I don't know what these are, but I like them. Little tendrils or whatever it is. There we go. You've got them all memorized. Yeah, I don't have any colors memorized, and that really hinders me a lot. I have my paint box memorized, so when I go to my acrylic paints, I'm very comfortable with those. And I do know several Prismacolors from memory, because I had a set of 24 before I got my big set. But now I feel lost sometimes. When I use them, I always have to swatch. And I do have a swatch book, but I tend to just grab a scrap and just... Oh, am I off camera? So with marker, I also move around a lot. Sort of just, I'm very scattered, and it's not like how I use pencil, because with pencil you have to worry about smudging. But once the marker is down, as long as you don't drag your hand through the wet marker, it'll stay put. So I tend to bounce around a lot more. That's how I work with paint. So that's always interesting, to see how you work differently depending on the medium. So I'm just adding contrast. I really like this bluey gray color, so I'm adding it to all the stonework, just in like the cracks and where I think shadows might go. So, but yeah, the real reason that I wanted to have a coloring chat today is actually to talk about something that I've been experiencing lately, and I just kind of wanted to give people a little bit of encouragement and just kind of talk about something that I think a lot of artists deal with. Oops, yeah, I made a mistake there, so now I gotta figure out. I'm gonna make it a texture. There we go. So a lot of artists, I think, and especially me, deal with confidence issues. You know, thinking, oh, my work isn't good enough, oh, I'll never be as good as so-and-so, so forth. Recently, somebody asked me if I would do a Patreon account, and I told her, well, I don't... Uh-oh. Already I'm overheating? My phone. I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, I don't know where I got cut off, but I just wanted to say, like, you guys, I think that we all, like, limit ourselves a lot by what we think is important, and what we think other people think, if that makes sense. And then and then we're not doing ourselves justice. So it was really nice to talk to this friend of mine and to really kind of like, she opened up my eyes to see like, if you guys are really enjoying my YouTube videos, then I think what I'm going to start doing is a Patreon account where I can do one-on-one lessons with people if they like. That way I can really help out individuals who are very interested in learning how to draw or how to color in a specific way. So I think I'm going to do that, and I also wanted to say like if you are struggling through this lack of confidence where you don't think that you're good enough, or you don't think that like people would care or whatever, you gotta put that aside, because I've learned that like you don't know what you're capable of until you try. And I didn't think that my book would get published, but it did. And I didn't think that people would be coloring it, but they are. And so, like, maybe I'm wrong about a lot of things. And so, you know, it's like, you can do it too. Like, don't limit yourself. Learn from me. Don't make my mistakes. Like, put yourself out there, enjoy what you're doing, and see what happens, because you never know until you try. And if you don't try, then you'll never know, and you might regret it. I'm just lucky that I have great friends who push me to do what I should be doing instead of limiting myself all the time. So I'm really, really grateful for, you know who you are, and thank you so much for encouraging me. And if anybody is interested, I will be setting up that Patreon account in the next couple of weeks. I just want to like learn how that system works and set it up properly. So if there's things that you are interested in learning from me, if there are, and I'm going to continue to do my free YouTube videos because I like doing this and I think it's a lot of fun. But in addition to what I'm already doing, I'm just going to also offer personalized classes and things like that, because I think it might help some people who might want that kind of help. And if not, then that's okay too. I think, you know, I'm just going to try and see what happens. So don't do the same thing. Like, don't limit yourself. Don't, if you think that you want to try something, then go ahead and try it. Like, if you think that you might love to do something, like, the only way you know about it is by doing it. So, you know, don't hurt yourself by saying you can't do it. Don't say that it's not possible until you try. So yeah, that's my little inspirational message that I just wanted to put out there, and say thank you so much to my wonderful friends who always like lift me up when I'm being silly and thinking that things are not possible. So yeah, anyway, I want to also ask you guys, is there anything like that you have experienced in your life? Like, have you ever thought that something wasn't possible, and then when you go to try and do it, you're like, wow, I surprised myself with how that happened or how it worked out well? I'm just curious because I think that this is a very fascinating subject, how people do this to themselves, and I don't think I'm alone. So yeah, if you have a similar story, or if you want to share a little bit of advice, you know, put it in the comments and the chat and all that, and we'll. So let's see, we've got some comments. So Melissa said, I started acrylic painting and was thinking of doing that in my coloring books. And then I saw you do it and was super encouraged. Now I just have to pick a page. That's great. I've been seeing your your acrylics on Instagram, and I'm really impressed. So I think you should totally go for it. And then Marina says, excellent piece of advice. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you like it. I'm just trying to help people out. And then Melissa says, acrylic painting was my surprise. Yeah, sometimes, you know, you try something new and you're like, what? I didn't know I could do that. So that's awesome. And then she says, I always remind myself that I'm my own worst critic. Yeah, yep, it's true. I think a lot of people are. I don't think I'm alone, and neither are you. So, yeah. Now, is there any kind of demo that anybody wants me to show them on markers? Like, because I'm happy to even like just demo something on another page if you guys want. This isn't really like a tutorial. I'm not. I just wanted to kind of chat and color and hang out with you. So yeah, if you have anything you want me to show you, I can do that. I'm happy to. Okay, so I think I'm gonna do, okay, so I kind of like didn't color in this area and I don't know why. Oh, awesome! I'm glad that I inspired you. All right, you know, and I can do a real tutorial at some point if it, like when you get your markers, let me know what kind of subject you'd like to go into, and I can totally do that. Let's see. All right. Oh, I'm so glad I came on today. You know, I just felt like I had to say that. You know, like sometimes I just get like the urge to like share something. It's funny, like, and I never used to be on social media before, so it's like a new feeling for me. But now that I've started sharing and trying to help people, like now I get like the urge to do it. It's like, oh, I gotta, even if I don't have a lot of time today, like I gotta get online and just tell this to somebody. Oh my. Oh, well, thank you guys. I mean, let's see. Yep, and Melissa says, I know that feeling. I adore live streaming on YouTube. It is addicting. Oh. Okay, thanks Marina for joining us. She's taken off. All right, it's good to see you. So switched back over, and when I do a tutorial, I'll call out names and so forth. I'm just sort of, you know, I can do that now. I'm working with N60 and N75. These are both from the grayscale set. So yeah, I can totally call it out and let you know. So I've also like continued, so you can see like how not all of these bricks were actually drawn in by Tomislav, but I'm just sort of drawing in more so that way it kind of completes the detail. So let's see, I want one to go here. Let me zoom in a little because now I'm doing something funny. There we go. So let's see. See, there's not a whole lot of guidelines here, but that's okay. We can make it up. So here's, I'm going to make, and I think I'm going to do that up here too. Up in this spot here. So I just want to, this is a little more developed, so I'm going to do this spot first. Let's see. Okay, so Melissa says, I've got a new house I'm closing on Monday. I'm hoping the markers and book might travel a bit better than my large cases of pencils. Yeah, I'll need time to rest between yard work and painting. Yep, that's why I love these markers. And I like the Statler ones too because they have those fine little tips. These have fine ends, but... Oh. I was like, what happened? These have fine ends, but I don't like the feeling of this end as much. Like it has like a scratchy feel to it, kind of. I mean, it's okay, and I do use it, but I prefer the fine liners. So I'll show you. I have a nice light gray in this fine liner, and these are pretty cheap, I think. So this one, I don't think they have any numbers. Yeah, it's just. But they are like, they have like a different feel to them, like they're smoother. I don't know if you can really tell the difference, but it feels nicer when I'm holding it too. I don't know why, but I do love, like I mostly exclusively use the brush end of these Tombows because it's, I don't know. Yeah, yep, little details. Yeah, the fine liners make it really easy to get in the little nooks and crannies that sometimes even like a sharp pencil can't really do a nice job of. So, yeah, you know, we use different tools for different jobs, right? Okay. Another mistake. Boop. So you guys can see I make tons of mistakes, but it's just about learning to adjust and, okay, I did that wrong, but I can make it work. Just darken up the areas around it a little more, and then all of a sudden it works. The bleed through, so this, what I do is I just try to make sure that here, let me zoom out. I try to make sure that I don't saturate the page with any water, like so, or like really heavy application rather. So like I'll layer color and then I'll let it dry and then I'll layer on top of it. So instead of going over the same spot over and over and over again, because like that, it will bleed. Here, I'll show you on this scrap. So like, you know, okay, I'm saturating, now it's starting to pill. As soon as it pills, it ghosts. I don't know if you can see that, but it definitely ghosted. And then if I keep going, which I don't recommend, then it will come through a little, but at that point, you're really like destroying the paper. But they don't bleed through like alcohol markers. I've had no trouble on nice quality paper like the Mythomorphia book, the Imagimorphia book, these Vilin books where, you know, I don't know how Create Space paper would be, but actually I have a Create Space book. Let me check. Here we go. I have this Magical Minis by Selena Finish, and I believe it's a Create Space book. I think this is a Create Space book. It's really thin paper. Let's see. And let me grab black. I mean, that's going to be the best test, right? So let's see. Oh, the last page will tell me. The last page. Well, maybe it isn't. I don't know. I think, let me see. It'll say at the bottom, printed in a city. Oh, yep. Like that? Cool. So yeah, it does come through a little. Still, I've saturated that with one layer. It goes. With 2 layers. Yeah, so you really do have to. But I mean, that's how dark I'd make the black. Yep. Yeah, so what are you gonna do? I mean, just about any marker bleeds through that. Yeah, yep. So, I bought this little Magical Minis book just for tests and fooling around and having, you know, not worrying about putting out a great finished product. So, you know, it's, oh, wait, now I'm using black. Oh, shoot. Okay, so how am I gonna fix that? I'm totally not paying attention. Okay, that's okay. Let me grab a slightly darker gray and we're gonna make this work. See, this is what I mean. You just have to adapt. Oh, that's not even gray. What am I doing? All over the place. There we go. That's a nice gray. Oh my. Okay. Yep, that's fine. We can make this work. So I'm going to darken up just where that ridge is, and we're going to create a deeper shadow. And I'll pull that down into this spot too, so that way it doesn't look out of place. Now with the darker colors, you do have to be much more careful. And over here. And then what I'm going to do is grab a slightly lighter gray. Let's see, here we go. So you got to think on your feet. That looks like a similar color. Maybe I'll go back to my trusty, yeah, this guy. I haven't tried it. Melissa asked if I use markers on large open spaces. I haven't tried it except for the black. So I'm a little nervous to do that, but I will try it. I just don't want to do it on this page because I'm really loving it, so I don't want to potentially mess it up with a first try. So what I'm going to do is I'll probably just color a test page with a big background. I was thinking about doing colored pencil for the background on this guy, just to kind of go back to my comfort zone. I want to do a really soft sky so that the dragon really pops from it. And I think marker, especially brush marker like this, where it's harder to really like blend and get like a really smooth gradient, or at least I haven't figured out how to do that yet. I like to use markers for like heavy texture. Okay, actually I think my mistake actually made this spot a lot nicer. So see, sometimes it's a happy accident. Isn't that a Bob Ross saying? Okay, that one needs to go a little bit darker, but not that dark. Yep, I kind of like that actually. So you see, I turned a whoopsie into a okay. Oh my. I am pretty goofy though about that sometimes. And it looks like I didn't continue that brown through. What am I doing? Sometimes these really complicated pages confuse me and then I miss spots and I have to go back. That's gonna be fun. I think it was that color. Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay. Melissa said, I hate that I post something and then 2 seconds later I see something I've missed. I have done that too, and I'm like, just let it go, Laura, just let it go. But yeah, I can be, that can be really annoying. And I also try now to wait, like, so like if I want to post something, sometimes I'll wait like a day and look at it and then I'll post it. So sometimes you guys are actually seeing like a day old finished piece. And that's for that reason, because I was like, getting sick of looking at this. I actually archived one of my Instagram posts that I just can't stand looking at because of that. I was like, alright, I'll just hide this. I can't look at it anymore. So yeah, and we are our own worst critic. I'm sure that nobody else would really care, but that's okay. It's more patience than you have, Melissa. I get, yeah, so she said, I take so long to finish something that I get so excited to finally post it. Me too. I mean, that was me. But then I posted something that I didn't like looking at and I was really annoyed with myself. And after that, what I'll do is I'll take a photo of it. I'll share it with my friends that I chat with like on a regular basis, you know, like my friends and family and stuff, and I'll just show it to them. And then usually somebody has something to say, and so I'll get like critiques from my friends in person, and then I finally post it the next day after I maybe fix whatever somebody or I see. But yeah, I am impatient about it, so I do need to share it with somebody. So I just go to my real life people and, you know, just do that. But yeah, and if you want to start doing that, you can totally just like send me a direct message or whatever on Instagram and share it with me if you want to do that. Like, I would totally totally help you out. Okay, and then I want this color. I think it's this color. Yeah. See, look at the cap, and then like the first color that comes out, it's like so much different. And then some of them are darker than the cap, so you can't go by the caps. That's my biggest tip with Tombows, is the caps don't look like the color, which is okay if you like. We just have to be careful, that's all. And I think it's really hard to match a color like on the cap, so I get it. Let's see. Oh, you're welcome. Gosh, we've been chatting on Instagram and now YouTube for a while now, honey. I feel like you're a close friend of mine, you know? Once you get to talking to somebody enough. So a couple of things I haven't decided on with this. But, like, I don't know what I'm going to make the tops of these and the flags and so forth. So I'm just kind of like working on the detail of the castle, because there's so much detail to cover. And so when I darken a spot, I tend to also need to darken quite a lot of other things. So that's what I'm doing here, just sort of like looking at that and saying, okay, well, if that's in shadow, then all this has to be in shadow too. So that's kind of what I'm doing. And I like mixing the grays and the browns together. I find that it creates a really nice, like, subtle brown, not so vibrant. All right. Oh, so Melissa said, I've got social anxiety. I always worry that I want to talk to someone more than they want to talk to me. So open invitations like that are really appreciated. Oh, I didn't even know that. Oh, well, you're so welcome. And that goes for any of the people that I follow or that I chat with. You guys, you're always free to come and talk to me. You know, I mean, if I'm busy, I might not reply right away, but I'm not some person who doesn't want to be talked to. Like, I'm a very social, if anything, I talk too much. So please don't feel in any way like you're not welcome. And that's really tough. I'm sorry you go through that. But no, let's see, I think I got another. Okay, so the gray-brown combo is one I love in pencils too. It's much more true to life. Yeah, I think so too. And then she says, I've got kids. My response rate is sporadic at best. Yeah, I don't have children. I wish I did, but I don't. But at the same time, I'm super busy. I do a lot of different things all the time, and I do have a kitty cat, and I take care of my family. I'm always driving people around or helping them, so I do have a very sporadic response rate too. That's totally okay. I think everybody kind of expects that with social media, though. I don't think anybody's like, why didn't you answer me right away, you know? I don't, and if you do, I mean, that's kind of unreasonable, so yeah. Alright, so this is starting, my mistake is starting to look really good. Oh, hello, Stanislava. I hope I said that right. I'm sorry if I butcher anyone's name. It's, you know, it's kind of tricky. If I do, you know, feel free to correct me. Alright, so I'm moving over here now, because now this spot is feeling really sparse. I like this really light gray. It allows you to create really subtle shadows. And what's nice is the more you put it down, it does get deeper. It just takes a little while. So if you are a timid marker artist and you're not sure how to get going, pick the lighter colors and just layer it down until it gets to be the right color that you want it to be. Really, really nice way of sort of like baby stepping it, you know. And I feel like as I get more experience with marker, I'll probably end up doing that less and less when I understand the colors better and how they blend. But for now, I'm still a newbie. Oh, Marina. So Marina said, and then there's also that thing called time zones. Unfortunately, there have been people who got mad that I didn't react at the same moment. Now that's just crazy. Sorry. I mean, that... Like, people have to understand, like, we all have lives outside of social media, and nobody, I don't think anybody is sitting on their social media accounts all day staring at their stuff. So, I'm sorry you had to go through that, Marina. That's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, no. And I'm a newbie to social media, guys. Like, before this, I used my Facebook account only to, like, check up on my family and, like, see, like, photos of my nieces and nephews and cousins and so forth. So, like, I'm learning as I go. Like, I had my first couple trolls and like, adapting to that, like, learning not to take everything to heart, and so, like, it's a very big learning curve for me. It's kind of weird, but I'm getting the hang of it, I think. I'm trying to get better at Facebook. I love Instagram because it's so easy, but, like, Facebook is super complicated in my mind. Like, there's so many different places that you can get a comment, I think, or I don't know. I'm still figuring that out, but, like, I have notifications in one spot, and then I've got notifications in a different spot, and I'm like, well, how is this? Where is... I don't know. I'm so bad. So if you really want to get in touch with me, Instagram is the best way because I understand it better. But I do have Facebook Messenger too, so that would be okay. So Melissa said, I talk to someone in Norway regularly. We have about 6 to 8 hours of overlap a day. Yeah, one of my dearest friends is in Sweden, so I have the same thing. And another one of my dearest friends is in New Zealand, so that's even crazier. But luckily, you know, in the mornings and in the late evenings, we do all get together and chat. So that's really nice. And I love that the coloring community is so global. Like, I didn't really think about, like, everybody in the world coloring, you know. I guess when I first started coloring, I just picked up a coloring book that my sister gave me, and I just started coloring, and I didn't really, like, think about, like, everybody in the world is doing this too, you know. So that's kind of fun. I don't know why I like that so much, but yeah, I think it's a very inclusive and open sort of thing to do, so yeah, Marina said the coloring community has incredible global energy. That's a great way of putting it. Yeah, I think it is amazing. I totally agree. So when I'm sketching out in marker, I use the lightest gray, and I just sort of like figure out where things go, and then I can darken it up later. So that way, if I do make a mistake, it's with the lightest gray, and it doesn't really, like, it's not hard to work over. So there's a little quick tip. Something I figured out already. Let's see, Melissa said, I've been in a lot of communities. Fan fiction, indie perfume, huh. MMOs, yeah, I used to be a gamer too. The coloring community has been by far the best community I've been a part of since I started going online in 1994. Yeah, I did used to actually, when I was a kid especially, I was a big, I liked EverQuest. I don't know if I think I'm showing my age there. I was a big EverQuest gamer, loved it. But as I've gotten older, I do have like The Legend of Zelda on the Switch. And I do play it here and there, but mostly just with my friends. Like, it's just something that we do when we're just hanging out, kind of. Alright, nice. So you know. And World of Warcraft, yeah, I mean, I didn't have, at the time when that came out, I didn't have the money to afford it, so I didn't actually get into it, but I was super jealous of my friends, and I would always try to play when I was over their houses. And EverQuest 2, yeah, that's, I mean, I was the original EverQuest, but I'm sure the second one was even better. Yeah, you know, it's funny, I never got trolled in the first EverQuest. Like, everybody was really nice about it, and I don't know, maybe it's because it was like, oh, and so Stanislava says Megapolis for 2 years? I don't know that one. And Elder Scrolls. Alright. Everybody here is a gamer too. I love it. Yeah, I thought I was the only weirdo nerd in the coloring community, but I feel relieved now. Yeah, my first video game was actually the Super Nintendo. My uncle bought it for me and my sister when it first came out. So yes, I'm pretty old. And when he gave it to us, I spent that entire summer, much to the dismay of my mother. I was a tomboy, and so I would usually be outside climbing trees, and I rollerbladed a lot when I was a kid. So, but that summer that we got the Super Nintendo, I played Super Mario World until I beat it, and that was my first video game. And then after that, I got into EverQuest, and what was it? Baldur's Gate was the other one I used to play when I was a kid, back when that first came out. And then World of Warcraft came out, but I was already expected, I was like a teenager, and I was already expected to kind of like pay for my own stuff at that point. I grew up in a single mom kind of household, so I unfortunately didn't have the money at the time to buy World of Warcraft, so... And then by the time I had the money saved up, there were other games. I think it was Myst 2 or something that came out, and I was playing that. So I just sort of, missed World of Warcraft, which kind of stinks because I know it's an awesome game, but, you know, once you, like, if you come in really late to the game, usually you're so far behind that, you know, you can't really make it up. Let's see, Stanislava says Nintendo. Oh wait, there's more. Marina says, yup, so yeah, lack of time and a bad PC. Isn't that always awful? And Melissa said her PC is having issues too, and you put it down to the lowest settings. Yeah, so I do that too, and actually I don't mind it. I think because, and I'm sure that a lot of colorists are the same way, I think because I have a good imagination, I don't mind having it on the lowest quality settings. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, the better graphics are the way to go, but sometimes I prefer the performance of having like low resolution graphics. And I have such an imagination, I don't really... It doesn't bother me. I can just like picture, you know, like make it up in my head. So Marina doesn't agree. She likes it all or nothing. I totally get it. I have friends that are like that too. They're like, I have to have the latest equipment because I want best graphics. And that's okay too. Everybody has their thing. So I'm kind of just, I think that this should be in shadow, so I'm just adding a little bit of gray to the places where I've left the page white. So, yeah, I think that looks a little better. Okay, well, it's coming up on an hour, so if anybody has anything that they want me to show them, now's the time to ask. I'm probably going to go in like about 10 minutes. But I'm so glad that that you guys joined me. We've had such a fun conversation about gaming, which I didn't think that that was what was going to happen, but that's why I love the live chats, because you never know you never know what's going to happen, so it's fun. Let's see what's Oh, so Melissa might get a new PC soon. And Stanislava says, I'm happy I finished with games. When I went to a business trip, my daughter had to care about my megalopolis city. Aw. Let's see. You have to go to the Lindt store and get your husband some chocolate, Melissa. Well, Hey, I didn't mean to stop it there. My silly phone. So, Melissa, is it his birthday, or is it like, did you do something that you gotta apologize for? Aw. Thank you guys. Like, I do this for you. Like, I mean, you know, I would be coloring on my own, you know, but, there's something really, really wonderful about having a chat with you guys while I'm coloring. It's almost like, I wish I had coloring friends in person, because I think that's how it would be, like where we'd all just sit around and color and chat. But luckily, through the miracle of technology, you guys are my color and chat buddies. Let's see. Oh, Melissa says, no, someone brought some into work and he had to have more. And you're nice. Well, of course you're nice. Well, that's sweet. Now, does he know that you're getting them? Is it a surprise? Or did you tell him already? I love surprising my boyfriend, because most of the time, you know, he has everything. Like, he doesn't really need stuff. So when I figure out, like, if I want to give him a gift, I like surprising him, because then it's like, oh, okay, he asked you. Yeah, well, that's all right, too. Yeah. Yeah, luckily I come up with some good ideas to give to Mark, because, yeah, he doesn't really, like, he has everything he needs, you know, so it's tough to buy gifts for people like that, I find. But you just gotta get creative and really think about it. Alright, it's starting to come together. Oh, I'm glad I made that little mistake over there. I'm darkening it up and now it's coming together. So embrace your mistakes. Thank you so much, Stanislava. Yeah, I don't know why my connection is bad. I have a good Wi-Fi, so, but yeah, I'm gonna keep looking into that. I don't know how it happens. Well, I hope you have fun, and thank you guys so much for joining me. Oh, thanks, guys. Yay. Thank you. I'm so glad that I saw you here, Marina. I did not know that you were on YouTube. I'm gonna have to go snoop on you now. Check out what you're doing. Take care, guys. Oh, it's starting to rain here, so I gotta close the window. So I'm gonna actually cut out now. But thank you guys so much, and I had a great time talking with you. Don't forget, believe in yourself. You can do anything you set your mind to, and I believe that now. I'm gonna put that into practice myself in my life. Hope you guys do the same, and I hope you have a wonderful, magical time coloring.